Hey everyone! Welcome back! Baritone Ukulele Lesson 2. If you're coming from the last lesson, you've already learned 2 chords, some strumming patterns, all the parts of the ukulele, the tuning. If you missed lesson 1, I'll link it here so you can catch up. My name is Lucy and I'm a singer-songwriter living in Los Angeles, and I love the baritone ukulele. I record with it, I tour with it. I just love it. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning 2 new chords. We're going to learn a new strumming method, and we're going to learn some new finger picking styles. Grab your ukulele and let's get started. All right. In our first lesson, we learned G and E minor, which looks like this. G and E minor. G and E minor. And your homework was to get a little quicker going back and forth between the 2 chords. Today we're going to be learning 2 new chords that we're going to add on to our G and E minor, but first we'll learn them separately. So the first chord we're learning today is A7. And I set you up with the E minor to make this a little easier to learn. We're going to go to our 2nd fret, that's the 2nd box here. Our pointer finger, same position as E minor, it's going to be the string closest to you on the D string. I'm going to press down right in the center, and then we're also going to add one more note here. We're going to take our middle finger, skip the next string, skip the G, and we're going to go to our B and press down our middle finger. Okay, and once you're there, we're going to play on the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do that 4 times, just to get used to the sound of the A7. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the A7, super easy. The next chord is actually one I struggled with when I was first learning, but it's a very basic chord and it's not actually that hard. I got in my head about it. The next chord we're going to learn is the D chord, D major. I have you going from the A7, so that's nice and easy to learn. So if the A7 is the string closest to us, the D, skip 1, and another string, we're literally just going to lift it up and shift the whole thing down. Just going to lift it up here to here. So we're just scooching from here to here. Just moving it down, and then we'll add one more note. So to build the D, it's pointer finger, 2nd fret, on the G, skip 1, and then our middle finger is going to go on that 2nd fret, highest string on the E string. Okay, and if you played it like that, it'd be a little different. We're going to finish the D chord by taking our ring finger and pressing it on the 3rd fret, the string right in between those 2. We're going to press down on the B string on the 3rd fret to complete the D chord. So we're on 3 different strings. Your hand looks a little crazy, but I promise it'll get more comfortable. And your pinky's just kind of hanging out, being weird over here. So just let it relax. Same with your thumb, it can rest just on the back. And we want to use the back side of our hand, our palm here, to balance. So we're kind of adding some pressure on the back to hold our uke. So we're kind of pressing together. When we're pressing down on the strings with these fingers, we're clasping the neck to secure it. And the thumb really helps with that as well. Okay, we're going to start on the 1 and play for 4 counts. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're playing every single string, even though we're not pressing down on every single string, we're still playing the full 4 strings. Okay, let's do a quick review. We're going to go from the A7 to the D. A7 to the D. So your pointer and your middle finger really aren't going to go far at all. They're just going to hover a little for a second, and then they're going to press down. We're just shifting it down. Both of them are going down a string. And then we're adding the ring finger in between the 2 on the 3rd fret on that B string. And like I said, this chord took me a little while to learn, but it's used in so many songs, and it does become easier much quicker than some of the other chords you're going to learn in the future. Okay, let's practice going from A7 to D. So A7, gonna play it 4 times. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to D. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to D. 2, 3, 4. Back to A7. 2, 3, 4. And back to D. 2, 3, 4. Again, A7. 2, 3, 4. Last time, D. 2, 3, 4. Great job. I love an A7 chord. Any 7th chord, honestly, when you're writing, especially on a ukulele, sounds so magical. It's very lifting, very optimistic. All right, now we're gonna put them all together. So our G and E minor from lesson 1, and then we're gonna continue on to our A7 and our D chord. First, we'll start by playing just on the 1. So it'll sound like this. G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, A7, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4. Ready? 1, 2, ready, begin. G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, A7, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4. Again, G, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, A7, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4. Forgot where I was. Great job. Now that we've got 4 chords, I think it's time we do a little bit of strumming. Got our changes down. We're gonna speed it up a little bit. We're gonna do some doubles, and it's gonna be nice and slow still. So it'll sound like this. G, G, E minor, E minor, A7, A7, D, D. And the strumming pattern is just down, down. We'll get into some more strumming patterns right after this, but first, let's just practice down, down. Can you hear those helicopters? Welcome to Los Angeles. Doubles, here we go. 1, 2, ready, begin. G, G, E minor, E minor, A7, A7, D, D. Again, G, G, E minor, E minor, A7, A7, D, D. Okay, and we'll stop there. You'll notice that going from the D back to the G isn't too difficult because your ring finger is already right above the G. So we're already right there. When you're first learning, the real trick is not to remove your whole hand in between chords and think, oh, I gotta get back to that next chord. It's really about letting your fingers relax and be close as possible to the next string so that they can move easily from chord to chord. And that'll just come from practice and repetition. Now, who wants to learn some finger picking? I grew up listening to folk music and bluegrass, so finger picking is my jam. I love it so much. We're gonna start with a really basic progression, and then you can always mix it up and change it and add your own style. We're gonna use our 4 chords, and we're gonna go nice and slow. We're gonna do something I call outside inside. So we're gonna play the outside strings, and then we're gonna play the inside strings. So we have 4 total. So the D and the E, D, E, outside, outside, and then we're gonna do the inside. G and B, G, B. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And I start with the lower notes, but you can always do it backwards and play the higher notes if you want. I'm more comfortable starting with my thumb on the low notes. And that might not sound pretty yet, but once we put our chords down, it'll really sound good. So let's start with our G chord. So we're on our 3rd fret, playing our G chord, and we're gonna go outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. We're using the pad of our thumb and the pad of our pointer finger here. L is for Lucy. And after you pluck the string, you're really just letting it go. So we're not muting it, we're not putting our hand down to stop it. We'll just let it ring for now. And we don't want to pop it, we don't want to pull it to the point where it's vibrating so much that there's a buzz like that. We don't want it to be too gentle that we miss it or we hit it on top and then we don't hear it. Just nice, relaxed. All right, so we're gonna go through all 4 chords and our finger picking is gonna stay the exact same the whole time. So your right hand is gonna do the same thing the entire time. It's your left hand that will be changing chords. Another helicopter. Really need to move to a quieter neighborhood. Please like and subscribe, by the way. We're gonna go through all 4 chords. Right hand stays the same finger picking. It's your left hand that's gonna be making the changes. We're gonna go through the whole round. So G, E minor, A7, D. And it's gonna sound like this. So G, we'll do each one twice. E minor, A7, and D. And it's just outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. 1, 2, ready, begin. G, outside, inside, E minor, outside, inside, A7, outside, inside, D, outside, inside. Practice it really slowly and then speed it up gradually. As slow as this. And then as soon as you get comfortable, you can start to speed it up. Okay, so wrapping up and reviewing, we learned our A7 and our D chord today. We learned a bit about the outside-inside finger picking style. I want you to keep playing that, keep practicing it. Go slow, speed it up. And in our next lesson, we're gonna explore even more finger picking styles, and we're also gonna do a bit more strumming, and we'll learn 2 new chords. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and please do leave your comments so I know where you're at, what you're learning, what's helpful, and what you would like to learn next. See you soon!